Hey everyone, my name is Skyby and today I am going to show you an interesting game on one of the elder maps we've introduced actually a very long time ago. This map was one of the very first from the package we made for this game for the internal playtest actually, but we also thought this was one of the best, so we mostly developed in this direction. But it is still on the map pool, you can still play it. It probably feels still a little bit differently from the other maps in the map pool, because here you have the second base quite close, but it is also in the middle of the map, but not on somewhere on the edge. At the same time, the map is relatively small, so it allows and features a bit different gameplay, and this is even more interesting for this pair of the players, because here we have Altair playing the light faction, which is very unusual stuff for him to do. He's maining dark strongly, not switching ever, but I believe he's just trying to test the stuff out. And at the same time, on the other part of the map, we have White Unicorn, who's most familiar and famous for playing light faction, but actually from the very beginning he also plays dark, so he's one of the players who's really deep into the both factions. We also among the strong guys have Dominator, who plays both factions, but he mostly lean to just elves as for light, but White Unicorn plays a lot of different stuff. That probably also makes him a little weaker, to be honest, because you can always play something particular extremely strong, or play different things on the decent level, but probably still a little bit weaker comparing to what you could have achieved trying to master one thing. But it is just about what you make a fun from, so someone has fun mastering one stuff and other players have fun playing different things. So White Unicorn is from the second part of the players and people, but here he still starts with quite a normal thing, normal stuff. He goes Alchemist obviously with his Goblin Lab along with Altar of Heroes early on throughout the three goons, so it is pretty much the Alchemist goon strategy, a very meta strategy and probably the best unit composition, unit hero composition to start with. And at the same time Altar playing what you may call also one of the best unit hero comp, because he goes 3 swordsmen, princess and elves. Not sure how well is his build order arranged and optimized. It seems like he's floating a little bit high on wood. Maybe that is because he has 10 workers, and at the same time princess is 400, 300, so she doesn't really require a lot of wood, and healer only cost 100, and he still haven't added any archers. He also consumes wood to be produced, but anyway, now the healer tried to replenish health for the swordsman, and Altair, it seems, starting off for the top chest, or maybe even the fire elemental in the first place. It is a bit tight on timing, I'd say, because it is 30 seconds, but princess, if she creates, can really take down elemental quickly. But look what does White Unicorn do. He opted to go for the bombers, and instead of rallying for the chests, he preferred to go straight on the enemy's base, and the bombers took a peculiar pathing, going from the high ground, so they will be spotted later by Altair, and it seems that the bombers are coming for something particular. Not sure if it is the main building. We can see how Altair going Castle 3, so he's about to take up to the Wind Mages, and it seems, but at the same time White Unicorn uses Circle of Power to crit with his bombers to the Citadel, and probably if he would be a little bit more lucky, he could have even take down the main base of the light player, and that would really be the game here and now. But he wasn't that lucky, and also one bomber didn't come from behind but came from the front, so he didn't attack from the scroll, from the Circle of Power. So Citadel survived on the little HP, and White Unicorn sees that he can't finish it off because here Altair has a lot of workers to repair the important buildings, so rather than that, Unicorn just takes down the Mana Tower, and it is also something, but of course he aimed for much more. And now, what he's left with? He's down to 26 food, slightly higher now that he ordered, resummoned Alchemist, but there's still time for him to come to the battle and join the fight. And now Unicorn only has the 2 goons, and obviously Altair at the very same time starting off to take down an enemy who obviously should be out of any units, because he spent his bombers trying to take down the building, and he spent all the other stuff too there in the base, because he had less stuff after he traded bombers for health at the building. So of course Altair had more units left, and he felt it and understood that, so he's trying to use that advantage, but it seems not to be that easy, because there is a Napalm Tower finished building behind the wall in, and there is also an Alchemist and a couple of goons, so Altair trying to block an opponent. At the same time mid chest popped up, and also the bottom left chest it's still not taken, which is an interesting event. So nobody really went for this one. Probably Unicorn could have taken it with a worker, but I believe he thought that Altair would be taken it. And it could go much worse if Altair would and send out more units for the bottom chest. So now Unicorn is about to take down a couple of archers, probably with the Sharp Thorns along with the Alchemist bottle. So 3 archers go down just as supposed and as intended, I'd say. Unicorn trying to take down a princess, dealing a lot of damage with the goons and the hero. And now the swordsman probably didn't make a good call trying to go for the Napalm Tower. So that one went down, and White Unicorn still being healed under the Goblin Lab aura and successfully survives this assault. So Altair has to pull back, but look what happened. Here comes the Wind Mage, and the only stuff on the air that White Unicorn has against this Wind Mage is the hero currently, but he is already up to the 2 workshops, and one of them is even building the drill, and it seems that White Unicorn has in mind a scenario of using the mass drills, but at that very moment he sees the Wind Mage on his mana well. He immediately cancels the drill, at least the second one, and starting the aeronauts out of 2 workshops, because he really has to make a bunch of those quickly, because otherwise Wind Mages will just obliterate his army, which is not shooting air, as you may notice. So aeronauts being produced at the same time. First Wind Mage does the bad things to Unicorn's economy, killing a couple of workers and doing it for absolutely free, because there is not enough damage. Aeronauts trying to pursue the Wind Mage, but here come the archers, here come the healers. So not like this Aeronaut can take down the Wind Mage. White Unicorn is also quite short on money, so he can't really spam Aeronauts out of the workshops right now. You don't earn enough from just sitting back in your base, so you have to take the chests. This is still the first chest, by the way, I'm quite sure. But now Altair is lucky enough to take all of the chests that have been taken in this battle. So one chest wasn't taken by anyone. Alright, now what we might call a miss micro, I believe. There's no reason for for Altair to really micro his archers like this, but probably that could be on purpose if he could want to trade the archers for something else, for the hero, for example, just to free the food limit, but then why not swordsman? So I don't really get it. So I still think that was a miss micro control, but anyways. Here we see that the Wind Mage trying to control the map, but alright, here are 4 of those. Probably with the snowstorm that could be possible, but still not enough mana for the snowstorm. And Altair also needs 1 more mana tower, but here comes the drill. There are 3 drills on the White Unicorn side and to his name, but only 1 here in the base. But along with the sabotage scroll, the drill does a significant amount of damage to the Sylvan Tower, because sabotage not only disables the building but also significantly reduces the resistances. So all the units can deal way more damage to the building under the sabotage. So that is actually another way to quickly taking down the building. So you can try to use the circle of power, just like White Unicorn did in the beginning of this battle, but also you can use the sabotage. But only if the building is not covered with the mana tower, obviously, because if the building is covered with the mana tower, you will only be able to use the sabotage on this mana tower. And then you can use another sabotage on the building, because it works much longer than the than the cooldown, comparing to the cooldown that the scrolls have. So you can use one sabotage and then the other one, but you need to have enough mana for that, obviously, and you can't make it in the first 5 minutes, because you need the 2 mana towers to make this work. But in this phase, in this stage of the game, White Unicorn, theoretically, he can afford that. But now he maintained the control of his watchtower. What do you mean, overview? We really call it that? Overview tower? Not sure I like it. Probably have to discuss it. But anyways, here's now an interesting army composition. You can also spot the Altair is a little lower on the farm level, because he's capped at 92 and Unicorn was capped at 98, so that is 2 levels of the farm, I believe. Altair probably is just using his resources to get higher levels for the dark and not for the light faction, but Unicorn is about the equal leveling, I believe. So he engages and takes down 1 mana tower to prevent his enemy of using the powerful scrolls and the snowstorm in the first place, obviously. So without his 4th mana tower, Altair is again out of 175 mana, so not able to use a snowstorm. The core scroll to be combined with the Wind Mages, of course. So what Altair is using is pretty much the meta composition. So you use the Snowstorm, you have the Wind Mages along with the Paladin, because Paladin with his aura strengthens the armor of the Wind Mages, who stays right on top of him. And in the background you have a few healers, not sure why is that. Walter decided to opt for that. I'm not even sure that wasn't for purpose, but probably he's about to take the second base too, because he's quite high on resources currently, and he also killed the enemy's hero. So probably White Unicorn will not be able to attack anytime soon. He denies... Unicorn denies the top chest in a funny way, killing the swordsman with the aeronauts. Aeronauts can't take the chest, but yet they kill the unit. Elter's not being able to take it either. And Unicorn will try to obtain it with the drills. So it is a bit funny because now Altair has a lot of units here, but they're all air, so they also cannot take this chest. So Unicorn ended up taking it, and now Altair trying to steal the chest. Drill keeps under the ground. That is a little bug we are about to fix actually, because now if your drill is on halt position command, it still will be burrowing, and that is of course not right, because on halt position the drill has always be on the ground, not burrowed, because when it's not burrowed it can halt the spot. So that is the core usage of the halt position that we currently have in the game. So now, along with the two workshops, White Unicorn decided to go for the two dark gates. And obviously the reason for that is because Altair is already up to 9 how we call those? 9 wind mages. Well, actually has 116 foot, so that means that there are only one level gap between the Pixie and the farm in this battle. So Altair has farm 5 and Unicorn has Pixie 6. So it is 6 foot difference. Not really that much, but still quite something, of course. So that is why I always recommend to upgrade your farms and your castles and your sawmills in the first place, to get more resources to work with and to get more food with work. Actually the food is one of the resources, so probably I didn't even have to emphasize on that. But anyways, 8 to 9 wind mages means that you probably wanna get more air units against them, because Venom Spitters, they don't really like kill the wind mages, but at the same time if you split them well, they can trade decently. But you really need to split them, because if a light player will be able to use something, well, not really gravity, but what I meant is Snowstorm of course, but the gravity does a great job too, and here comes the rockfall on those air units, and quite a bit of them was damaged or even killed by that scroll, so we can call this lucky usage from White Unicorn, I believe, because rockfall is a little bit random scroll. You can't really say where those rocks will be falling within the zone, but while the air units traded almost to the scratch, we can see how 4 drills still in the battle at a crossbow tower taken down a Venom Spitter, but at the same time drill take down pretty much everything, trying to ignore Paladin and just take down the castle in a quick way. Now the Alchemist using his puddle, but puddle is not healing Alchemist fast enough to save it, So it is a common mistake actually that I also do, I can say usually and really often, because I feel it like if I use a puddle, my alchemist will survive the damage, so my alchemist is low, but I stop it and use the puddle, and it dies in the puddle straight away, because puddle doesn't heal that quickly. It just heals over time. But if you have like 2 or 3 enemy units attacking alchemist, it probably won't survive in the puddle if it's been on low HP in the beginning of the fight. But anyways, now we can see how Venom Spitters, along with the drills, do a great damage to the hero. But Altair decided to resurrect the hero with the scroll to get it straight in the battlefield and also get his active ability ready. But currently the most crucial ability of Bombardier is not really his active ability, but his anti-air attack, I feel. So this is why he has snipers and wind mages, and still the composition of light player is decent. Probably he has to also add the bikers. I'm not quite sure about that, but you can combine them with the wind mages really quite good, I think. And also you probably rather wanna add the new production buildings such as the factory than the other barracks, or even more the third sanctuary, which is expensive like hell. Sometimes you can afford the third dark gate, but I don't really think that it's worth it to build a third sanctuary, just because how expensive the wind mages are. And actually the foxes too, and you don't really need mass healers, so it doesn't really make sense to make the third sanctuary. To me, I never make it. But sometimes I do the third dark gate. But the fourth dark gate, you sometimes can afford the production out of 4 dark gates potentially, but just the building itself is so expensive that you don't really get it. But now we can see how Unicorn tried to steal this mana well with his drills, trying to take down the towers, but that didn't work under the 2 heroes and the wind mages, so Unicorn pretty much traded 2 of his drills for nothing, but he also rebuilt them. And does it even feel like he's still behind how he has been in the early stage of the game, where Altair had 9 wind mages and Unicorn only switched to the Venom Spitters? I don't really believe that. I think that this game feels like at least equal, and probably even into the Unicorn's favor, but another chest going for Altair is not really the great call for the Dark, but at the same time he controls the corners. It is interestingly enough, he uses the workers to do that, so he's up to 11 workers and only 9 of them mining. And the other 2 are controlling the corner chests, in order for you not to use the battle limit, the battle food for that. Alright, so here the fight is being opened by the Rockfall. An interesting initiating scroll. See how Bombardier attacking the particular spot if he fires at the closest distance. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of this mechanic, but we're actually gonna make another video to explain it. So it is really an important thing to know if you use Bombardier, and actually any unit that has a dispersion while firing, such as the Rocketeer, for example. But now Alchemist is in the dead zone, so Bombardier cannot attack it. But now Bombardier is retreating from the drills, and Alchemist is being able to also retreat to heal. Oh, not really from the Wind Mage, sorry mate. So now the Alchemist goes down and pretty much all the heroes are about to go down. White Unicorn uses the sharp turns on the Bombardier, and Bombardier takes a wrong call to stop and immediately goes down from the drill, or rather goes down to the drill, I believe that is the correct form. But now Unicorn decided to split the drills and attack the two different bases at the same time. Alter doing a great job defending it, honestly. He's covered everywhere. But the funny thing is that you don't really need to take down the tower, you can just take the mana well itself. And at the same time, yet another sabotage, making it possible to take down this tower. Altair using another fortification, but not repairing the tower, so it goes down. But another tower is probably a little bit too much. Also reinforce it with the sniper, who deals great damage to the drill even in the underground mode. So here Altair, Unicorn decided to pull back. And we see Unicorn adding even more drills, still sitting on what we may call 1-2-2 production setup. We usually don't count Altar of Heroes in. Sometimes players even make the two altars, but that doesn't really make sense if you play one hero, obviously. But Altar playing 2 or even 3 heroes, so it could make sense to him. But actually now sitting on the sheer Bombardier. A drill comes back to probably be repaired. And yet another bomber. I'm not sure what is the idea with those bombers. Probably to take down the towers the quicker way. I'm not sure. Here castle in the woods. Unicorn still casually looting the corner chest, but actually he only looted one chest here and one there. Since last time I mentioned those. And the drill's been repaired. Having a nice pit stop. Alright, here is pretty much the basic mechanic. Drills go first to have the fire on them, and then come the bombers. Not sure if attacking snipers is any good idea, but actually he takes down the crossbow tower with that. So now it feels right. The sniper and also the crossbow tower. And now Unicorn decided to go for the rockfall, destroys the castle along with the drills and also the crossbow tower number 2. So here come the Venom Spitters to quickly finish off the Wind Mage if they can. And now they are probably better to pull back, but Unicorn's not pulling them back. Trying to finish off the snipers. That really pays out, I'd say. Because the snipers go down off the cost of the 4 Venom Spitters, though. So, but honestly, you wanna trade. You wanna take the trade, I'd say, because you have the 2 second gates and you can produce those Vipers really quickly. And what for the light player, he currently only sits on 1 barracks. And snipers are not really too fast to be produced, and if you are on 1 barracks you can't really reproduce snipers quickly, so obviously Unicorn can outproduce, outmate Altair in this case, so trading Venom Spitters to snipers, if it is close to 1-to-1, it is really a good deal. Alright, so now Unicorn's about to see if he can probably apply some damage on the mining. And he can. He can try to take down the workers, but sitting under the crossbow tower is not really any good of idea. but he probably puts his attention on the chest now, but not really, it seems. I'm not sure. Is it possible that White Unicorn disconnected for the beat? And not that I know that his phone is not very strong, so sometimes in the long games he has to reload the phone entirely and then get back to the battle. But this was way too quick, so probably that wasn't the case this time. But yep, if you wanna play the game comfortably, you really wanna have like 6 GB RAM. Unicorn sits on 4 gigabytes. It should be fine, but in the long games, since the phone is not like too new, it sometimes happens to him, I heard. So if you are thinking what phone you wanna get for the games like this, then look on something with 6 GB if you can. But it still runs even on 3 GB, so War Legends can work if you have 3 gigabytes. If you have 2 gigabytes, you're in trouble, honestly. But anyways, 4 drills is way too much for one poor cannon, which goes down way too quick. Now drill trying to deal with the sniper. Could have made it if the sniper was along, but not like this. So sniper survives, one drill goes down, the other tower goes down. Unicorn doesn't really want to take this fight, honestly. But he does, and is about to lose all those drills. I don't really like that. Not a fan of that. Probably he's not paying attention for some reason. I'm not sure. But since we have the mobile game, anything can happen, right? He could have traveling by, let's say, a bus or a train and had his stop to move out and find a place to sit back and finish the game, finish the opponent or whatever. In the house I live, we have an elevator, and inside the elevator I am completely cut off any signals. So if I'd be playing this game while moving, while let's say driving by taxi straight to my house, but I'd have to get up on my floor to my place, and in the elevator I couldn't have micros. Probably I wouldn't start the fight though. I'd pull back rather, but that is the very basic lesson that back in the days a great StarCraft player Strelok gave me when I was taking the lessons from him. He used to be the top 3 player in World Cyber Games in, I think it was 210 or 209 probably. And what he said, when you are not controlling, so where you are not paying attention to the fight, then pull back your units. Go from the enemy to your own base, and vice versa. So, if you are gonna arrange something in your own base, then make your units go here. So, give a move command in here. And when you are back with attention to the army, then make them go the other direction, to the opponent's direction. So it is a simple rule to follow, and you won't really be using the units to some stupid reason if you maintain it like this. So interestingly enough, a White Unicorn maintains the control of the left side of the map, at the same time trying to get the second base on and add in catapults, and this should be pretty much the reason for him to maintain this control. Altair is still on 4 wind mages, not really maxed out, but he has 5 snipers because he's probably afraid of the venom spitters, and now he sees the catapults, using the defense scroll on the wind mages to survive against those well splitted venom spitters. They're actually Venom Spitters, not Splitters, but this is the way Unicorn uses them, and try to use the Wind Mage splash damage if you can, he says. Splits everyone, and of course Venom Spitters winning this fight. So this is really the way you're supposed to use those flying units against Wind Mages if you wanna win the fight. Not really just A-moving. But at the same time, first 2 Catapults goes down. The other 2 emerging. And another 2 being produced. So the idea Unicorn clearly has here is to take down the buildings from here. So it is crucial for him to maintain control over this watchtower, and so he's been able to take down the buildings. And here is also the interesting mechanic he's using, which is not clearly notable from the observer's perspective. Yet we don't have the Fog of War, but Unicorn is actually using the attack ground command. So he's not attacking the particular building, he's just attacking the ground where the building is placed. And the reason for that is because when you are attacking ground, you are not shown to the enemy, so you don't reveal your position. If you attack a unit or a building, you are being revealed, so the sniper can attack you. And now the only way for sniper to attack those catapults is to bring the Wind Mage, to show them first. And as the Wind Mage come, the Venom Spitter come, and they wanted to trade out of those towers, of course. But Unicorn wanted to trade them for Sniper once again. Not alright, he's quite successful with that actually, because of the what we call it. No, actually the Venom, I believe, since it's the Venom Spitter. So he spits Venom, and that is the poison, so the poison killed out the sniper. And here you could have noticed that catapults actually were attacking ground, because they kept attacking it even after the castle goes down, but castle went down. But then they shoot it to the Bombardier, and because of that, Bombardier was able to use an active ability on them. So one catapult went down, and then Altair, wisely enough, switches to... Alright, from those 2 factories, switches to the helicopters, because copters can take down catapults quickly with their explosive damage. But is Unicorn even going to use a lot more catapults, is the question. But probably yes, because it is still quite hard to engage in this position. Altair really using a lot of towers and the snipers, so that is really a difficult army to engage at, or to engage on, probably. And so does actually Unicorn himself. Getting his citadel, he's about to be mined out soon, and so is Altair, of course. Probably Unicorn used more scrolls, so just has his citadel of higher level, or using 4 workers for longer time, I'm not sure, but it is 5k against 3.7k, like 1.5k difference. And Unicorn keeps looting those corner towers. And also 42.5, 42.30 will be the mid chest. But one Unicorn trying to obtain control of this position with a slingshot tower to protect the future catapults from the Wind Mages, as well as the Venom Spitters. Drill trying to sneak off the watchtower, but not successful, because that one was cut down. But Altair seemed to be in favor again when got a second base, but Not so much anymore, I'd say. Oh, here comes down the meteorite. Unicorn not paying attention to that. Actually, this is all repairable, but still a nice usage from the watchtower. It is another difference of this map from the other maps. You can do this on many maps. I'm not sure if this is a good thing, to be honest, but it is just an interesting one, so you probably wanna have the mana tower on this map, because if you won't have it, you are vulnerable because of the scrolls. So one tower was broken to make the castle on this side, so that Unicorn not be able to attack it from behind. So what White Unicorn does here is he just attack the ground to prevent the workers from mining, and also to probably hit the tower because of the dispersion that the catapult has. Sometimes, even though it can't hit that far in theory, but actually it sometimes can when it's been inaccurate enough. Bombardier would like to attack it, but he can't see it now. Oh, right now revealed, and what happened? At the same time, at the same moment, active ability comes, but Bombardier can't attack this far, so not hitting anything, but nice try. And Catapult still can block like this position right in front of the gold mine. And Copter comes once again on the slingshot. Actually, the Catapult survived, but then Copter failed, and with the crash it killed the Catapult, so that was quite a little nice moment actually. Two more Copters come, but here Unicorn has quite a bit of Venom Spiters, so not sure why he's not killing it. Not killing those Copters, I mean. Probably paid attention to something else, but now he starts the fight in the middle. Two heroes and the sniper, and the Wind Mage of Altair went to the middle of the map. Altair has a lot of food, but I don't really understand where all that food is. This catapult seems to go down. Gravity scrolls being used. Not sure what is the idea of oh, probably to kill those guys with the helicopter. Didn't really pay off, I'd say. I still wonder how that is no bikers and only copters. Probably. Oh, really? With the ballistas. So, what is the usage for ballistas? Probably to take down the second base and try to use the very same strategy as the catapults of Unicorn. That is a nice idea. And all the Venom Spiters go down. Copter make the drills to pull back. Castle's been reproduced once again. Which time in this game? I'm not sure. Probably like the 5th time already. So that is quite an expensive base, but it still has way more, so you still can afford it at some degree. Well, yet another sawmill, because the wood was mined out like entirely. Altair trying to block the mining, which really makes sense. And remember that the dark player doesn't have a meteorite, so the dark player can only use a ring of fire or rockfall to kill those units. But Altair is not using attack the ground, so his ballistas can't attack ever, because workers hide in the mine way too quick, so they can't hit. Oh, actually the fake shots from the sniper. That is an interesting bug. I'm gonna report it after this video, actually. It is a rare occasion where the target like casually disappears but we still need to know how to work with it. Alright, now there are more workers, so ballistas started to at least fire at someone. Alright, sniper loots this chest. Gravity is being used on the venom speedsters, ballistas trying to do their thing. Bombardier doing a great active ability, killing off one venom speedsters. Copter doing their thing too, but it just seems like there is way more of the white unicorn, and he wins this trade entirely. Princess comes from behind, not being able to help like at all. She just came using the all army button scroll, I'm sure. Well, she can do the work with the catapults, probably. A good scroll needed, but Altair is entirely out of mana because he tried to use fortification. And I'm not sure if he can protect this base, but he rebuilds the castle. What is in production? Bombardier? No copters, no bikers. Well, it seems that this game is about to finish off on this position, because I don't really see Altair surviving this anyhow. So that was still a nice stand, and a lot of nice mechanics shown in this game, and catapults are rare units to see appeared in this game and were extremely useful for this particular map. So probably when it comes down to units like catapults or ballistas, you really need to think about the map and about the map relief and where you can use it, from which cliff to where you wanna shoot. And if you find the right place, like White Unicorn showed, the catapults might be extremely useful and can really be a game changer, instead of just pressing into the ground in the face and being smashed out under the towers. There are more clever things to do in War Legends. So at this point, I guess we'll wrap up. Thanks to the players to make this amazing game, and to all of you guys to watch it probably until the end. Make sure to sub to the channel so that you don't miss the future videos, and I'll see you there. Bye bye.